So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing to work on the streams, paths, and routes of Allie.Chat. So let's open up the back end and take a look at what we're dealing with. This is the static content site, which is set up for search engine optimization, or SEO. Drops us into the app. In this, I've set up a number of different app bots here. It looks like I currently have 5 of them in here. And if I look at streams, I have 1 stream. So the first thing I see is that I want to change the formatting here of that table. So if I open up the streams component at the CSS, the piece I want is this, which I can dump into here. And this is called Matt stream name. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. We can look at the bot screen. That looks pretty all right. We still need to add a flexbox in here. If I look at the streams, this looks better now. When I go to create, this is going to launch my inbound and outbound routes panel. So none of these remove buttons are working. This inbound and outbound selector needs to get put on a modal. So let's go ahead and get this button working. Remove path invoked. So if I look here at my shared for paths channels, I should have a remove path channel passing in my ID, which is here. So now what I want to do is I want to have a confirmation bot dialog. So we'll do a private Matt dialog called Matt dialog, and I want to search for a confirmation modal. Here. And down here, under Remove Path Channel, we'll add in this confirmation. I'm gonna move this function below the create. So I'm gonna have a confirmation, which is gonna say, are you sure you want to remove this path? And if we do want to remove it, then we're going to do a remove path of my ID, which is not of this. So when this is done, I need to have a remove path received subscription. And on this, we're going to have a this dot remove path equals this dot web hub, and we're going to do a get remove path, and it's going to be a subscribe here as a success, which is a boolean. And if I look at the back end for my hub, where we're doing the remove route, remove path, this looks right. Okay, we need to add this onto my destroy. And then up here, we're going to say if this was success, then we're going to do a private toaster service, and this is called a toaster service. So here, I'm going to do this dot toaster service dot success. The path was successfully removed, and we're going to say that this is remove path success. And else we want to say this dot toaster service dot error. The path could not be deleted. Please try again later. Please try again. And we're going to say delete unsuccessful. That should hook it up. So let's give it a try. If I go to streams and I try to remove this, it's going to say, am I going to sure I want to remove it? And if I remove it, it fired this twice. and it never stopped the you're doing the request paths again, but you're never setting this thing back to this not loading equals false. Let's go ahead and remove this one here. Okay, I'm getting this thing firing twice here. Hi, do you always use material? No. Good morning, Mixlax. How are you doing? We'll create a webhook here. Auth it in. Okay, that's good. If I look here at streaming and I do a remove, that's good. Let's try it again. Morning, fine. Hope you are as well. I am doing great. Better than fine. Okay, so it fires across the pipe once. We're going to do the remove path. So that fired 2 times. Because you have 2 instances of path channels. One here and one here. What's the difference between ASP.NET Core and .NET Core? ASP.NET Core is the web framework. So it did remove it. It's firing it 2 times. So just a second. So I want this to be on the parent then. So let me move this here to the parent, which is routes. Up here. So we'll get rid of that one, and then we no longer need the toaster service. So you can't create websites with .NET Core? You can. You have to install Owen and everything manually. Okay, good. So now it's only doing it the one time. And then on paths channels, I think I want to have that back. because I'm just going to say that when this happens, we're just going to kill the loading. So we'll add one here as an inbound for Pixel Horror Studios, and we'll put this in code. And there it is. So if I do a remove, looks good. I removed this, but I never received routes. You don't want paths, you want routes. So then over here in the Web Hub, I can get rid of request paths. And then up here the paths received, and then on that one, and then down here. Okay, so let's run it again. Opens, we look at the streams. Looks good. I can remove this. This time it sent me to my... It didn't retrieve routes, did it? It wants my stream ID. So we'll do this. Okay, and then I'm going to say like that. If my path does not equal to null, then I want to get my route here equals await services dot read route asynchronous of my path dot route dot ID, and that's my application user dot ID. And now if my route does not equal to null, and we can delete the path, then we're going to do this for my route.stream.id. So we're going to make a webhook on this one. Okay, it'll tell me that it's successful here. There it is. If I do the remove now, it removed it and updated correctly. So now we got to hook up this one, remove route. So in here, we're going to look at my routes component, and you have this remove route. So let me look at my paths channels, because I have this confirmation dialog, which I can bring down here and to remove routes. And this needs to be a ID, which is a string. Okay, we need to inject here mat dialog. So I get my dialog boxes. This one's going to say, are you sure you want to remove this route? And if it's true, then you're going to do a remove route of your ID. So up here, we want to have a remove route received subscription. And we're going to do a this dot route remove route received, and we'll do it from the web hub, and it's called a get remove route. And we're going to say that this is a subscribe with my success, which is a boolean. And then what I want to do is unsubscribe this in the destroy. So where this happens, we're going to do this dot loading equals false, and then we're going to say the route was successfully removed, and this one's going to say the route could not be deleted, delete route unsuccessful. Okay. We'll look at streams again. This time if I do a remove, let's go ahead and do this inbound. And it worked. Okay. So the next one that I want to do will be let me add here a route for a inbound Twitch. We'll create that route. Here it is, and it's saying path server works. So what I want for this one is a list of the Twitch channels that it could be in. So instead of being path server, we're going to make a new component here called ng generate component called path Twitch. Is that what we want to call it? Or path server Twitch? And I'll put this in my shared, and we'll do a module for app. And now I can get rid of this paths servers Twitch. Which gets rid of it here. Shoot. I got rid of the wrong one. Path server. This one. And that one. We'll do that again. And then on my routes, where I have this, if my provider here is Twitch, like that, and then I can just comment this stuff out. Then what you're going to do is a app path server Twitch, like that. Hey there, Lopata21. Greetings. How are you doing today? Path server Twitch works. So what do we want on this thing? We want a let me look at my path channels and copy this. And what I have on this is paths server Twitch container. And we're going to say that this is my paths. And in bots, I should have this form field for a value type, which I can add right here, which is going to be a server selected, and then a let server of servers. And if I look at my interfaces for iServer, that's name. It's a boring day. Not for me. Why is it boring for you? It's never boring for me. Okay. And then you're going to have a button here which is called Create Path Server. And then you'll have this for the data type. And then this one will be server name, which will be called channel name for what I'm working with. And then you'll have the remove button, which is called remove server. Like that. Okay, so now I can look at my TS in here, copy all this up into there. And then I can also bring up this stuff and remove toaster. Like that. So this is called server name. Just call it name and remove. And this is going to be for a iPath server called path server. And this is a remove path received, which is fine. And you'll do it this dot loading as no. I don't care about this authorized webhook. This is servers. We don't have that authorized. We have a create path server. And we need to have up here a selected server, which is a string. This dot webhub dot create path server for my new request, which is a const request is a type of iPath server, which is equal to this. Thing says that it needs server route path type ID. So if I look at this one, we want to do a interface called iPath server create request. And on this we want to have my server ID, which is a string, my route ID, which is a string, and my path type, which is a number. So this is a iPath server create request. And on this it says I need to have server ID, which is called this.selected server. It says I need to have the route ID, which is this.route ID, and it said I needed to have the route type path type, which is this dot global service dot get route type called and it's my I should be passing into here a route type, which is a integer. Like that. And then this one is my remove path server, which is going to say, are you sure you wish to remove this path? And we'll confirm on it. And if that's the case, we'll do a remove path. Looks good. This is a number. If I was to close this HTML and reopen it, only have a server selected and servers. Servers selected, and then also you want to have a number of these servers, which is iServerArray is like that. Looks good. And this is remove path server. Like that. And now if I look in routes where this is happening, I'm going to do a paths. If I look at my path servers Twitch, we're passing in path servers, route, and route ID. So path servers is equal to element.paths. And then your route ID is equal to my element ID. And your route type is equal to your element dot route type. Like that. And now when I look at streams, this time I get this inbound, and I get to choose my paths. So now I want to have a function on the web hub called, we'll put it down here, which is called, we'll put it above the authorize and below provider. It's going to be called request Twitch channels for routing. And we'll do if this dot hub connection, then we'll do this dot hub connection invoke request Twitch channels for routing. So then up here, above the authorizes, right here, we'll do a this dot hub connection dot on, this one, and I want to say that this is going to be a servers, which is an I server, Twitch, and then we'll do a this dot Twitch channels for routing received dot next my servers. And this should be a receive. And then we want to have this one up here. Like that, which is a new subject of iServer array. Which is a type of iServer Twitch array. And then finally down here I need to have a get Twitch channels for routing, which is a observable iServer Twitch array. And we'll do return this dot that dot as observable. So this is the one that I'm writing. So let's build this on the back end. We need to have a public asynchronous task called request Twitch channels for routing. And let's go ahead and grab all this stuff. Oops, that's a lot. Let's get a smaller one. And we're going to do a new here called Twitch channels for routing get. Okay, and then on this one what you want to do is we're going to do a new one of these down here called a task called request Twitch channels for writing. So read Twitch channels for writing of a Twitch server VM array. So it's a server Twitch VM array. And we can do this as DTOs. And we're going to pass in here a GUID application user ID. So we can do this one. This is Twitch channels for routing. And then we can send this thing back as a receive. Like that. And we want to pass in the application user.id. And then we'll write the logs. Okay? So that's done. Let me go back into here because on my web hub, I'm going to change this one to be a behavior subject up here like that. And we'll pass in a new array of nothing to get it started. Okay, and now when this loads on routes, I want to do a this.webhub.routing get Twitch channels for routing. Because then in path server Twitch, we can have my path servers, we'll say Twitch channels for routing received subscription. And I'll make sure to unsubscribe that here. Is that a drawing board on my left? Yes, it is. And then up here, we can do this one. And it's a get Twitch channels for routing. And this is going to be a subscribe of my servers Twitch, which is an iServer Twitch array. And then we can do this dot servers equals servers Twitch. So up here we'll do the same thing here for the display name. And then we'll add that into here as a display name. Let's go ahead and run it. I need to get one very useful. Yeah, I agree. I haven't used it in quite a while, but it is very useful. Okay, we have to implement this. So we can do that down here as a public virtual asynchronous task of a server Twitch VM, a DTO array. That. And we want to pass in my GUID application user ID. And then I'm going to do using my var context equals new application DB context. The first thing I want to do is I want to get all of my bots Twitch where my application user ID is equal to application user ID and it's active. Like that. And I want to include the user, and I want to include the user dot server. And then I can do a select the user.server, and then we'll just get those. And we'll do this of type server Twitch, like that. And then I can do my DTOs here equals a new list of server Twitch DTO. And then for each var server and servers, I can do a dtos.add and we'll map my server Twitch DTO over to a server. And then down here I want to return my DTOs.toArray. Now, just a second, as I look at this, because your DTO has a Twitch display name on it, and your entity has a channel ID and a display name, that's fine. So why does this think it has a name? Just a second. Name is being pulled off the element of the data source, which is path server. Which has the server type on it, which is name. So the server has a name. Yes. Okay. Which, hold on. It's that. And then if I look at my server Twitch DTO down here, it's got display name, which comes off server. So I think we're okay. We'll take a look here, and we'll rebuild it and give it a run. So it never fired this. Because when it loads routes, it should be doing this get Twitch channels for routing. Oh, my bad. Request Twitch channels for routing. Okay, there it is. It fired. We're going to take a look at the servers here that we pull. That was really unhappy with me there. So let's try it again. GUID application user is not defined for let's just do this. And this is going to be bots Twitch. So, and for each one of the bots here, we're going to map the bot.user.server as a server Twitch. Pardon me. Try it again. Hey, it fired. We got our bots Twitch, which I have 2. For each one, I'm going to add the DTO here, which has my name, my display name, and the is online. That looks good. We'll return them. And then when I look, we have both of them here. So now, when I do my create path, create path server, we'll look right here. Let me reload it. Okay, this is saying that it doesn't have what? Name of undefined. Because it doesn't have that. So you could do this for the path server. Just a second. So where you're doing your request routes, your path channel here has a channel name that you're mapping. This one should have a string called server name. And then in your mapper, here, for member server name will map from the server to the name. And we'll run it again. And then we'll add that onto here as a server name. We'll log in. Take a look at our streams. Looks good. And we have my inbound path here. So we could do the remove. That worked. Let me go ahead and do a create on that again. It works. We don't want this, we want await request routes. And you need to do this for your stream ID. So here you need to do a var route equals await services dot read route asynchronous of your path server dot route dot ID and your application user. Good morning, Nar. How are you doing? And so now if my route does not equal to null, then you're going to do this. And we're going to request the routes here for my route.stream.id. And this is now hooked to create path server. Just a second. Okay, so now git remove path. Let's go ahead and take another peek at what's happening. We do the remove. Good. We can add one. Good. On my path server Twitch component, we don't have a create path received. So let's move this to the parent. And we'll put this up here as a this is remove route. Do you have a create route? So we'll put it up here as a create path server received. And I need to unsubscribe that in here. And then we will subscribe it here to my, I want to say that this is called remove path received. Create path received. And it's a get create path server. And we're going to subscribe that as a success, which is a Boolean. And so then I can say loading is false. And we can say the path was successfully created. And it's going to say create route success. And this will say the path could not be deleted, could not be created. Please try again. Create path unsuccessful. Yeah, I think so, Nar. I think C# ASP.NET is really handy for building backend stuff. We can remove it. That works. We can add it. That works. I can remove the route. So one of the things about when I remove this route is I also want to get all of the paths that are under it. And I want to get the ones where my route ID is equal to my entity.id and they are active. And then I want to say for each var path and paths, we can just do this. And we can say that it's also inactive. Looks good. So for Twitch, that should work for inbound and outbound now. So I should be able to make a Twitch outbound route. On my routes page, I'm going to get rid of this paginator. Like that. And let's add it again here as a outbound Twitch. And this time it didn't load that correctly. So what's happening here? It says server name of null. So just a second. When I look at this, I want to look for a TCP or a Twitch one. I think it's this last one. It's an outbound route, and if I look at my paths, it's null. Let's try it again. So the paths this is routes. Try it again. So my path type here is a channel. But this is null. So this is passing in a channel to it. So if I looked at where this is being called, it's here from this route type. Of the route. Which is loading app path server Twitch. Right here. This is it. Path type is not that. It's equal to path server. This dot global service dot and this one is path type dot get. Oh, I don't have that. So let me add that to the globals. I can't show that on screen, so just a second. We're going to add get path types. And if I look here at my enumerators, I should have a get path type here, which is called a server channel and a channel webhook. And then this is a get path types, which is called a server channel and a channel webhook. So this is get path type of my server. And that makes sense. I don't think on this one I even need route type anymore. Like that. I think we're good to go. We'll give it a run. That's okay for this error to pop up, because I want to remove this one, and I'll do that by going into here and there. Now, let me do this by going into my SQL server. And turning off that path. Okay, we'll give it another run now. Now we can see it, and I can get rid of this path like that. And then I can go back into this and we can go, we want to make a new outbound Twitch. And we'll create one for Allie.Chat. Get path type called server. So let's do a alert working here. So it never did this. Just a second. Let's try that again. Get path type is not a function. Now it should work. Beautiful. So those two are done. One thing I think is that for these panels, so for Twitch server here, we can get rid of our paginator again. And the same thing on the channels. And that looks a little better. Now you only want to show these tables if your ng if your path channels dot length is greater than 0. And then the same thing here on this one for ng if paths servers is greater than 0. Hey there, CMJ Chris Jones. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Thank you for the support. And we have a create path, and we're on a card, it looks like. So if I get rid of the card here and here, no, I'm okay with the card. Okay. So that's for inbound and outbound Twitch, right? So if I made another one here for an inbound Allie.Chat, and I could do that for Allie.Chat and create that path, that works fine. So the next one here is we have Discord, outbound. So this one's actually the outbound one. So if I was to look at this again for where this is happening, if it's Discord and it's outbound, then we're getting this. This one is for inbound. Hey CMJ, make sure you check out the youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Put all the old videos up there. Appreciate the support. Also make sure you join our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. We're up to over 350 developers. It's a really great technical resource. Highly recommend you check that out. Okay, so that's looking good. So that's for an outbound route. This next one here is path channel webhook. We want this to be a path channel, right? And this one's path channel webhooks. Okay, so let me do a ng generate component called shared / paths channels webhooks in my module app. And in this, I'm going to say that my paths channels here, we're going to lose this whole thing into paths channels webhooks. And then this, move this one up here to be paths channels webhooks in the TS. And then we want to add this stuff and have a on destroy. So this one, we want to say remove path channel webhook create path channel webhook. Like that. Like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now in my app module, I can get rid of this one and that one. And now in path channels, I want to have my mat form field with a option box here, which is called channel selected, and it'll be from channels of channel, like that. And if I look at my interfaces for iChannel, that's got a name in it, so that's fine, and a channel name. So we'll do that. Create path channel here. Then you're going to have your channel name in the remove. This one should be a path channels webhook. So now where we're doing this in routes, we have this one, which is a Discord inbound. And then this is a Discord outbound. This is an app path channel. Like that. Okay, the outbound one is a path channels webhooks. And this is path channels webhooks. And then this one is Twitch, inbound, and outbound. And then the other ones that we need are TCP, inbound, and outbound. And then we also need a WebSocket, inbound and outbound. Something's wrong. Cannot read property length if undefined in path channels webhooks. There we go. Outbound here. It doesn't know what this is for outbound. Outbound Twitch is good. Inbound Twitch is good. Outbound Discord is good. We can make one here. Right? inbound Discord doesn't know anything about this yet. So for this one, I need to have a channels here. This needs to have channels and channels selected. So you have a channel selected, which is a string, and you have a channels, which is an I channel Discord array. Okay. I don't think I'm using paths anywhere. Okay. So now when we do this, I need to get my channels here. Just a second. This shouldn't populate from the web API, right? Because you can have multiple components. This should come through your this. Channel. Just a second. So what you're going to want to do is pass in here your servers, your channels to this. So this path channel should have a server on it, which should have a number of channels, right? Discord channels. So it's just ICE server Discord. So when you're getting this routes component, you're going to get these routes. And what you want to have here is one where you get your channels on routes, right? So on iPath, it's only for inbound. Routes. So on this one, we could just add a number of channels, right? like that. So then over here, where you're looking at your route outbound, I want to have on this a number of channels. Called channels Discord. We'll say available channels Discord. So where you're filling this, I want to say if my VM.routeType is equal to routeType.inbound and my VM.bot.user.provider is equal to .provider_type. Is equal to provider_type.discord. Then we need to fill up the available channels. So we'll do this by getting the user server. And then what I want to do is var channels Discord are equal to my context.channelsDiscord dot where my server ID is equal to entity.bot.user.server.id and it's active. And then you want to do for each var channel in channels Discord, we want to do my vm.channels.add a mapper.map to a channel Discord DTO of your channel. And so then on this one, you want to get your paths channels right here. And this is your channels. So we want to pass this one in as an input parameter. And then in routes, where we're calling this, I'm going to say channels are equal to available channels Discord. Like that. So now when we give it a run, and we look at it, looks like it errored on me this time in here. For each one of them, our channel Discord DTO is going to error, and it's going to tell me what. It's not mapping channel Discord to channel. If I look at it, the data access layer auto mapper, should be fine. Let's take a look here and run it one more time. Okay, so it says null. Try it again. It maps the DTO successfully. Does it? I don't think so. I think the DTO is null. I'll try it one more time. Why would the DTO be null? Oh, I know why. Because this knows it's a channel Discord. Let's add a watch to this. All right. Log in. Okay, I got my DTO. If I look at this, we never did the new list of channel Discord DTO. Now it'll work. And we've received them, but we're not getting any names. So if I look back at this for my past channels inbound here, channel name and remove, channel selected, channel name, all right, we'll just do name then. There we go. And now I can see all the different channels that are available in this room. Interesting. So if I was to create a path on this, we need to change this. We can get rid of this authorize. And instead of this, we can do a request create. Oh, no, it's a create path channel. And this one wants a iPath channel create request, which needs a channel ID, a route ID, and a path type. And so now here I want to do a const request equals is a new one of these. And on this we want to have a channel ID, which is your this.channel selected. You want to have your route ID, which is this.route ID. And you want to have your path type, which is equal to your this.global service.get path type of channel. And then you'll do this. So back over here, we should have a, hey Mr. Outlaw TV, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Create path channel here. So I should be able to do this. Create one for main. I get my request. It's got a channel ID, a route, a server ID. This is a wait. Okay, we got to do something different here, which is a path channel. And then I want to do a var route equals await services.read route asynchronous of my path channel.route.id, my application user.id. And if my route does not equal to null, then we're going to do this. We're going to receive my path channel. And then we want to do a await request routes of my route.stream.id. So back in routes, create path server received. If I look at my app component, I think I have my Discord callback there. So up here we'll have another one here for a create path channel received. And it's going to be a this dot create path channel received. And we need to unsubscribe that. And then we're going to do a this.webhub.get path get create path channel, and we're going to subscribe that as a success, which is a boolean. And then if it's successful, we can say the path was successfully created or the path could not be created. I run it one more time. Log in. Look at streams. This is the inbound route. It worked. We can get rid of it. It worked fine. I'll add another one for main. We're going to create the path channel. Oh, come on. Try it again. This time I'll get rid of the break. Get rid of this one. We'll add a new one in here for Alter Aeon. And it added it successfully. So now we have our inbound and our outbound for Twitch done. And we have our inbound and our outbound for Discord done. So let me open up my source tree. And I'll make a commit here. And we're going to say added routes inbound and outbound and Discord and Twitch paths are completed. Still need to complete WebSocket and TCP paths. And we'll commit that out and push that out here to development branch. And we can close that up. So I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back here in 10 minutes. When we come back, we're going to finish the spots up for the paths. We still have to do the paths for TCP and for WebSocket, and that should be it. And then we can move on to the chat. We'll be going for another hour or so after the break. If you haven't, make sure you click the follow here. Check us out, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. And I put all the videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Enjoy the music, and I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Bye.